Hello everyone, this is Jude.
I'm Kato.
Yeah, what's up?
We're doing a read the manga again. Finally.
Yep, just so you know, this one is going to be a very sensitive topic. No pun intended.
So this for viewer
discretion is
viewer
advised.
discretion is advised. I would not watch it if you are under the age of 18.
And if you suffer from any sort of PTSD when it comes to sexual assault or anything in particular.
Yes.
And not to mention that you would go through depression, several other things. We want you to keep in mind that what we're about to show you is only for 18 years or older.
And anything in this manga is very sensitive to you.
It's very heavy.
Heavy. We recommend going to see, physical therapy or any type of therapy.
Or talk it over with your friends and family.
Speak it to a professional, please.
Yes, to be safe.
Yes.
But so the anime is called. The manga is called Sensitive Boy.
Yeah, it is
It
an
should
anime
be.
yet.
But the manga is called Sensitive Boy. There are 3 main characters it follows. Only two arcs are fully fleshed out yet. The third one is in the works right now. They've posted a couple parts of it, but not a couple volumes, but not the full thing yet. The main characters it follows are, first of all, Kaede Seto, and then there's Izumi, and then there's Asahi.
Yes.
So
I'd say we start with the first one.
yeah, so Kaede Seto they're all high school students, but Kaede Seto is a victim of
Sexual assault.
and worse.
And yes.
Yeah. And that happened when he was in middle school from someone who was supposed to be a teacher in training. And luckily, it got reported, and the teacher got arrested. But he developed a trauma and fear of women, and his arc is about him trying to figure out where to go from there. Because he wants a relationship, he wants to be quote-unquote normal, but this is his normal at this point.
And he tries, and what I do commend him for is that he is, instead of walling about it, he is attempting to try to seek some sort of normalcy for him to some extent. He sort of gets a girlfriend. We'll talk about her in a little bit, because I got some words to say about this
Individual?
I'm about to say something else
Mhm.
instead, but I have words.
Yeah, we're
Words.
doing a good job.
But we see him try to get through it. We even see him work a part-time job with this older woman, and we get to get something really interesting. I'm surprised not many manga really go into this. That despite his trauma, he still thinks he's mature and stuff. It's
Yeah.
when we go through trauma and stuff like that, our brain is so used to that chemical stuff that happens, and we sort of just need that thing to happen. I'm going to lose this game or lose my job.
Mhm.
You're used to it at that point. It's become self-fulfilling prophecy. With him and this with this boss of his, she even calls him out for it. It's you don't like me because you like me. You like me because
I'm an adult.
Adult.
I'm a proper
But-
adult.
the thing that what you see, you want to see.
But, so, his situation is, honestly, I think, so far between the 2 full arcs, I think his situation is the worst.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more fleshed out
It-
compared to Izumi's. So I think it's time that we talk about the elephant in the room, his quote unquote girlfriend, if you will.
Tsubasa, in a way.
So,
I don't like her.
so, he thought she was really pretty. They first started off talking, he didn't feel she understood that he was afraid, and while she didn't understand why, she accepted that he was scared for some reason. she didn't know his past.
And then afterwards, they started to get to know each other little by little.
But you can kind of see throughout the story,
At
like,
least during his arc, that
like Kaede was hiding something. Like she didn't know anything about like sexual things, anything in that particular thing. Like she was a very, I would say, like a sheltered kid.
Tsubasa definitely doesn't understand a lot of
About
the world.
how the world
No,
works.
And
she doesn't.
And because of that, we get this very
really
awful and
heart-wrenching scene.
Heart-wrenching scene.
So he confesses to her what happened to him. And then right after she pulls away from she feels bad for him, but then when he tries to talk to her and reassure that he's going to be okay, as soon as he touches even her arms slightly, she pulls back like he is this diseased creature, and then was like, "Are you sure you didn't want it?" Like trying to blame him. Like, are you sure?
Oh,
Like,
God.
you
Oh.
couldn't scream, or you're a guy. You were in middle school, but you're a guy, and it's a girl. It's like you couldn't stop it. It's like that's not how that works.
And I flippin' hate that because people think when it's a girl, it's a completely different story. When a guy, they feel like, oh, of course he would like that because you have hormones and stuff. No, it happens both ways for both genders, no matter how you slice it.
And I think the manga handles it beautifully.
Yes, compared to like other manga, just kind of either joke about it or do
Yeah.
something like that. It takes the subject matter and tries to do a healthier way of trying to somewhat deal with the trauma, even though it's going to hurt. It tries to do it in a more healthier way of trying to seek some sort of normalcy. And what Tsubasa did, like telling her his story, was not a bad idea, because that's a good thing that he finally opened up to someone that he trusted, quote unquote trusted, about his issue.
Besides the core group of friends, because
Yeah.
they were the only ones who routinely showed up and didn't show just pity or skepticism. They were just there for him to be there for him.
When he needed it.
Exactly. Just like Izumi and Asahi, for example. They're good friends who've been there for Asahi since middle school to high school now.
Yeah, and they supported him even though what happened to him all those years ago with that teacher.
And they don't treat him like this fragile child that everyone who pitied him
Yeah.
did. They treat him like a person.
Yeah, and they treat him like a brother as well when being protective.
But I'm so mad about Tsubasa. Like, it takes like this one girl to call her out for it.
Yeah.
Like you're being so entitled about it just because of like sexual stuff and all that happened.
Like,
yeah.
you can. There's ways you can explain that you're not comfortable with certain actions, but like he didn't want those. It's not his fault that it happened. Like she was victim blaming basically, and it's like no, like you can be like. There's another character that's asexual in the manga, and they handle his situation beautifully. Because he's like he confesses that he's asexual to Kaede, while Kaede's like dealing with that whole situation like shortly thereafter. It's like, okay, I can see that, like,
Yes.
and then he's like, I can kind of understand her not being comfortable with that stuff, but like she definitely wronged him.
Yes, she did the most immature way to do with any person who has suffered abuse. Do not do that to anybody who has gone through that kind of thing. It's good to just like listen and then try to like process this or do like research yourself on the matter
Yeah.
to understand what they're coming from.
Yeah.
But yeah, it gets even more crazier after that because that horrible teacher that kind of messed him up.
Not kind of, just fully messed him up.
Fully, yes.
Messed him up. I'm sorry. Wants him dead. Like near the very end of his arc, like
She blames him.
she blames him, even though it was her fault.
Yeah, and as a result, though, she tried to be able to take down Kaede, but Tsubasa got in the way and ended up being slashed onto the arm.
Because he was coming out of a store and ended up running into her.
Yes.
They had their moment where they both apologized to each other, even though honestly I don't really think he did all that much wrong.
Nope.
No, he didn't do anything.
Like at all, because
Well,
her reaction to
Her
him
reaction kind of just escalated
immediately
everything.
was like, "Hey, don't touch me," and she's like, and he obviously was gonna take that a certain way. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for this to affect you, and basically it seemed to her that he rejected her, but like in reality, she was blaming him for what happened. So obviously he can't stay with that because that's not healthy.
Yes.
But they had their moment where they apologized to each other, and then after immediately upon that happening,
that crazy.
she shows up.
Yeah, the fully messed up trainee teacher who was supposed to be good and ended up messing up Kaede in the first place.
And she shows up with a knife.
No, but she wants him dead.
And just like that, it's how I explained it. She just slashed Tsubasa while Tsubasa was covering Kaede from being attacked.
Which is nice that she finally was having a redemption and all and everything.
When we see them split off again, and she's holding, like after he checks in with her, after she gets out of the hospital and everything, and is able to go to school for the first day. She holds her arm like it's going to be like the end of the world
Yes.
for a second, which I can understand that's a traumatic experience being attacked like that by someone. But like, I just hope it doesn't an arc later doesn't happen where she blames him for that happening. She
I hope
tells him that she doesn't blame him. But like, with how she acted beforehand, I'm not sure about that.
I know it's going to be a little bit off topic because it just reminds me of something like with Batman and his Rose Gallery kind of reflection.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it takes one bad day to turn yourself into a supervillain. With Batman having one bad day, he turns it into a way where he tries to use that trauma in a more positive way, which is what I like with Tsubasa, like so far in the story. It's leading to that for the most part with most of these characters, is that they going through these trauma, but they're doing it in a more healthier way, without it being like, just endless amount of just trauma and angst garbage that you see most stuff.
Until the second arc.
Until that, yes.
That is all.
That's all that is, and it reminds me of like Oshinoko a bit.
That is all angst right there.
That is all angst.
It is in a way, but this second arc is completely different. This is the Izumi arc.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll talk about Izumi. Izumi is.
So he's one of the core friends, and he is a big fan of one idol in particular.
Yes.
They believe to be Kanon.
Yes. And he is obsessed with her because his family kind of just leaves him. Kind of just is like
his dad's kind of an in-hole.
Yeah.
To be honest.
A jerk.
Yeah, and also just leaves him alone for days at a time.
Yeah.
So kind of a lot of problems at home. But she's the main thing that kept him sane, because during the times where he was having his problems, he couldn't really voice it too much at the time because of what Kaede had just went through. Because if I remember correctly, it started all around the same time.
Yes. Eventually, like, he meets Kaede, and then they sort of have a relationship, and they do a lot more in this relationship, more than I thought, and it gets kind of almost in uncomfortable territories, like, okay, this is really getting in too deep. We kind of back out, abort.
Oh yeah, and fun fact, she lives right next door to him.
And yes, not to mention, her backstory.
It's also horrible.
Horrible.
So I feel worse for her than I do Tsubasa, because I don't feel bad for Tsubasa at all, really, except for the cut on the arm.
Yes.
There's nothing truly bad that's happened to her.
Not really,
No.
but
that we know of.
But dude,
but
this reminds me of like that Jeanette McCurdy thing about like I wish my mom was dead. This thing is like, almost exactly verbatim.
Yep.
of that
Yep.
in like manga form.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
Exploiting your children is not okay.
Especially when you
It
know
isn't.
how screwed up the industry is and how to get in it, and yet you let it happen.
Over and over.
The only thing that can be missed at most of all is how someone else became a little toxic and as a result made you do things you don't want to do, and that's not right.
So yeah, Izumi arc is really messy.
Yes. So those two end up in a pseudo relationship. I can't even call it a proper relationship
Because like she's with another guy at the same time.
well, he says they're not, but then
They kind of are.
they seem like they are. Like we don't
Yeah.
have any like hardcore proof, but like
Yeah.
it's sketchy, very very sketchy.
sketchy, and she's also on drugs as well.
Not to
And
mention,
he supplies them.
Yes.
and not to mention she wanted to have plastic surgery at that point too.
Yeah, but that's not neither here nor
Here,
there.
there, but it's just like she's on the drugs. She's going out with her.
She's spending the time with this guy while
Yeah.
she's dating, kind of dating Izumi.
Izumi, and she's going through all this crap.
And the worst part, one of the worst parts though, is how they met. It, like truly met, not with him watching her as an idol. When they met outside their apartment, she was going to jump off the balcony.
She was about to do that, and that is not a good attempt.
No, it was.
And that topic is a consistent trend throughout that arc.
Yes.
That topic is brought up on many occasions, that kind of thing happening.
Yeah,
So I guess what you would say, like Izumi's whole story is, like, it's okay to follow your idols to an extent.
Yeah.
But
He got creepy about it.
He got creepy about it, and it went too far with it. And especially because after that, he's doing things with her on the side, missing school.
Yeah.
As well as like just messing up this youth over.
Yeah, but she does play a part in it too. Cause,
Yes, it was also she kind of like instigated it.
Yeah.
A bit, like playing with his heart.
Because he didn't even tell her until the end of it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, at the end of that, he tells her about how she basically saved him through her being an idol. But her being an idol is one of the things that really messed with her because of all the negative feedback people would get because of a lot of them disliking how idols are handled.
The whole
But
thing,
he was supporting her from like day one.
yeah. Being supportive to an idol is great, and being there to help is fine. But you don't have to go too far.
You just like keep your heroes at a distance at best. If that's the way I would say it.
Yeah,
But yeah, like Izumi's arc is kind of the weirdest one out of the bunch so far. But let's talk about the final arc that's still ongoing.
Yeah,
at this
that
point.
it's only a couple volumes in. So this one is about Asahi, the like chronological heartbreaker.
Yes.
Like the chronic heartbreaker. He's always breaking girls' hearts. And we find out he's not trying to. He's never liked someone like truly. So he doesn't know the feeling, but he says yes to everyone, pretty much everyone who asks him out because he doesn't want to lose them as a friend. Which in turn, once they start dating, he eventually does anyway because they realize he's not really into them. He just is a friend. And this arc is about a guy who is interested in Asahi.
Yes. So I guess you could say Asahi is bisexual technically,
yeah.
more or less.
He never truly felt any type of way for any of the people he's
Oh,
dated.
so he is asexual then.
Not yet, not confirmed, nor
Any ideas?
rejected yet.
But who knows? But it's pretty close because we do see him befriend a girl who is a lesbian, and she tells him about relationships and stuff and how like she has this girl that she likes that she's willing to ask out.
That she wants to but can't.
Yes, and then when she tried,
She didn't even try.
She found out from her
Did
friend
she-
that she got her boyfriend.
Yes.
Yes.
She didn't try and ask her out.
Tempted.
She wanted to,
It's still
but
kinda,
never did.
Still kind of broke her heart.
Oh yeah, no, certainly.
It did, although afterwards she gave advice to Asahi, and apparently Asahi was able to have a date with Kanefumi.
So now, currently, like at chapter 69, they are. I know, funny number.
The title of it is Starry Night 2. That was actually when she told him that the girl had gotten a boyfriend, and then the girl was trying to set the lesbian up with a guy, and it's like, obviously that's not gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
But and then Asahi sees Kanefumi out in public while Asahi's in uniform. He has said before that he came from school. Kanefumi didn't realize he meant high school.
So,
Well,
Kanefumi is
shocked.
An adult, I think.
So he's probably in college.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Although Asahi was trying to be able to say something to Kanefumi before the whole certain side happened.
That is, he was worried that he would misunderstand the relationship between him and the lesbian.
Yes.
Yeah, he was worried about it first, but after finding out that he's a high schooler.
So yeah,
that's where it ended.
That's where we're at the cliffhanger at the moment in terms of like chapter. Honestly, how will we rank these arcs so far?
I think Kaide's I would put at a solid 9. Because that is like, I think one of the best ways to handle such a heavy topic is don't make it the focus, but have it there, and have it something that they are actively working with. Like when he thought he liked the shop owner, but no, he felt safe and respected and trusted her because she was an adult who wasn't trying to take advantage of him. And the whole topic was kind of handled relatively gracefully, except for one character.
Yes.
And that just happened. And as for the Izumi arc, it does have depression over it a bit, but at the same time, about how to handle the depression, you need support for it. Although,
yeah, but you need to get like better support. Like, it's fine to like get lost like entertainment and your idols and all that stuff, but also you gotta realize there are also people with screwed up lives as well.
Yep.
And
so
yeah.
For his arc, I'd give it a total of probably a 6.5 because
I agree with you with
they didn't handle his well.
No.
His was too messy.
and the last thing that we need to hear about is the Asahi arc.
You can't really grade it since it's not really done, but so far it's pretty solid.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I'm giving it so far at the moment a 7 because I am liking where they're going with it. I hope they stick the landing near the end.
I really do too.
Same here. So we can give that vote to about the first arc a 9 out of 10.
Well, you guys didn't give your opinion on
that
rating for for the first one.
For the first one, I give it like a 9.5. I do like how it handles the effects of sexual abuse from both sides.
Yeah.
And how they handle it in a more healthier way than like most manga or entertaining media would do it.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to men, which is really nice to see.
I give it about 10 out of 10 because I do agree with you two about how it's handled properly and a good way to start, so that's a good way to put it. And
so I guess the end is for total for Kaide's arc is a 9.5.
Yes.
Well, I guess that's just about it.
We need to get your ratings for Izumi's.
Izumi is like a 5 out of 10 for me. I really wanted to like it, and it was getting me interested, but it just started getting too real with the idol stuff, and it reminded me of Oshinoko for the most part, the way it was going. And I was like, okay, I'm not liking this all that much.
What about you?
Well, in my opinion, I do have to agree with Gear on this one when it comes about how the whole Oshinoko thing happened, but it's more than just that. There was a lot of depressing things, some people desperately wanted to achieve the greatness, but doing that is not the right way to do it.
Nope.
So if I were to be able to give the score, it would be pretty much the same thing of what Gear said. About 6.5 in a way.
So total rating would be roughly, I think, a 5.25 or 5.5.
Yeah,
Because
that's...
I was a solid 1 ahead of you guys. So I think 5.25, I think, would be the total.
That's fair. And we already did about Asahi.
We can't
We
really
can't,
rate
'cause
his.
We still need to let that finish.
Yeah.
So, if you want a manga that can handle heavy topics, read the first, I think, what was it, like 30
About
some volumes?
Yeah, Birdie's so chapters.
Volumes, yeah.
of the Kaede arc.
Yeah, just read the Kaide arc. We can skip the Izumi one because they don't handle it well. That, honestly, if you're dealing with that topic, would actually, I think, make it worse.
Yes.
So the important thing is to go with the first arc as a recommendation.
I would say go with the first arc, and if the Izumi one is not your cup of tea, just go out, skip it entirely.
And then we'll come back and give an update maybe on the Asahi.
Maybe arc, yeah.
Yeah, well,
But overall, so in terms of where you can find Sister Boy, it's not available in America, at least not yet. And there's no digital version nor physical version out yet. But
Officially.
Yeah.
There are websites you can look to find it on. I use Manga Dex to read it.
yes, but if it does get released into US, I recommend you guys support it.
mm-hmm.
So that way we can get more stuff like this into the West outside of Japan. But we will keep an update on that once there is any sorts of release in the future. But yeah, this was a very heavy topic manga that we ever... I think since like
I think
Asper Girl was like the last one we ever did that was a heavy topic manga.
Yeah, it
that
was.
really was, and that one was really heavy, but I think but in different ways. This one is more on the side of abuse and substance use. That one is more of disabilities causing misunderstandings and abuse stemming from that.
Yep, well,
Yes.
we already got the pictures, so I think we did about just close to 30 minutes, and that is a wrap. So we hope that you read the first arc of the Kaede arc and hope to understand that this is only for 18 years or older. Not for children, not for toddlers, just for people who went through traumatic experiences.
I don't expect... Then again, we live in a generation where toddlers know how to use phones now, so I'm kind of worried. But yeah, do not let your little 3-year-old look this one off until they're like 18.
We will put in the description that it's only 18 years or older and a restriction, just to be safe.
I'll be sure to put a viewer discretion as advised thing before the video starts.
That
And
we appreciate everyone for watching. Sorry if any of this bothered you, but if you sat all the way through, I hope you enjoyed. And thanks for listening, guys.
Yes.
I hope you stay safe out there. And next time we'll probably talk about something less heavy.
Yes, and here's the important message from us. Always have professional support. Always have your friends and family. Talk to them, and make sure to be honest with yourself and everyone else.
And seek a professional.
Indeed.
Always.
Yeah, thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.